welcome to the Geek Legion of Doom. This is going to be my August update for Blu-rays. It's very sort of horror and Marvel based this month. We'll come on to them in just a minute. Now, August was actually my birthday month. Yay! Oh, so I got a couple of birthday presents. So I got some non-Blu-ray stuff I was just going to show you, just because I thought they were quite good. First one is this Funko Pop. And this is, I kind of got out of the Funko Pop thing now, but I do like Venom and I do like Deadpool, so I got the Pop in the Box exclusive Venom Deadpool hybrid. So there's that one. I actually got two of these ones. I bought a second one so I could maybe give one away for a kind of upcoming contest. So if you want one of these, stay tuned for now. But yeah, I got this one at my own money. This one I actually got for my brother, so thank you to Guy, who is my brother. And he got me this vintage Advanced Dungeons and Dragons Warduke figure. Now, you may not have heard of this if you're not of a certain age, but yeah, back in the olden days, they used to have Dungeons and Dragons figures, and Warduke was essentially the bad guy. They did make the Dungeons and Dragons TV show, and he did appear in one episode, but the characters of that were never really made as figures, but you did have some of the kind of the peripheral sort of characters. This guy also appeared in the cartoon, and you got these kind of static almost like rubber figures as well. But this is an original like 80s one. It's slightly yellowed on the kind of the shell case there, but other than that, you can see even unpunched, so it's pretty good. And I really do like it. I used to love this figure when I was a wee nipper. Next thing I want to talk about, and I actually got this from a convention that I went to. You may have seen the conventions, and I got this from some money that I got from my mother. So thank you, Mum, for this one. And this is an Evil Dead 2 Living Dead doll. Now again, I don't really collect merchandise, but Evil Dead 2 is one of my favourite films, if not the favourite. So I kind of picked it up, and it's I didn't really get it for any cheaper than you can get it online, to be honest. But I didn't even know this existed, if I'm honest. And it's just kind of cool, because if it had been Evil Dead 1 or Army of Darkness, I probably wouldn't have bothered. But Evil Dead 2 specifically is my favourite movie. And you've got the chainsaw in his arm there and kind of stuff, so it's pretty cool. Yeah, so I kind of like that. So let's get on to some Blu-ray, shall we? So we'll talk about them very briefly. So Crawl was a blind buy. Got this CX for £1. I did it and changed basically, so I bought this. Haven't watched it yet. Don't know what it's like, but oh, sorry, on eBay it was for £1. That's right. Yeah, so there you go, Crawl. Next up, I got the Vestron release of Return of the Living Dead Part 3. I did actually get sent a screener disc for this, which I did a review on. But I like this film so much, I wanted to get the retail copy, which comes with a nice slip and some good special features here. So I do like young Mindy Clark here on the front here. And this is a great zombie film. I also got Waxwork. Sorry, excuse me, which is also a Vestron release, and I also again like this film. This one actually has Bruce Campbell in it for a short time as well. Or does it? Oh, that's the sequel, I think, actually. Anyway, now I was a little bit disappointed in this one because, as you can see at the bottom here, my slip cover is pretty knackered. Now, if this had been the Return of the Living Dead, I probably would have asked for a replacement, but Waxworks, I don't know, I'm not too worried about it. But yeah, but it's got this weird, I don't know if it will show up on here, but like a kind of like it's got wet, like a kind of rough feel on it. So I'm not really impressed. It's not Vestron's fault. I got this from Amazon. So obviously the actual inside of it's fine. It's just the slip case, but there you go, Waxwork. But it's a good film. Now I've got loads of cheap horror movies from Amazon in Germany. I basically had a look on horror, the cheapest price, and it came out with a treasure trove of goodies for just a few euros. This one, Jurassic Predator, is basically a sci-fi original movie. and it's about this plesiosaur, I think it's called. And you don't really see many kind of like aquatic dinosaurs, but you know the one from Jurassic World that's in the kind of like jumps up out the water. This is essentially this. It's I believe it's actually the species are like Pleurodon, and I think it's called the super alligator or something, but it's not an alligator at all. It's actually a dinosaur. It's a crappy film. I didn't really like it. It's got Mark Sheppard in it from Supernatural, but I kind of just like aquatic horror movies, so I kind of wanted to get it on Blu Ray. Creature, I actually had this on Region 1 DVD some time ago, and I never actually got around to watching it. So again, this was just cheap from Amazon in Germany, so I thought I would pick up the Blu Ray. And then obviously you've got a cast of familiar faces there. Sid Haig, obviously, Serinda Swan, who is going to be from the upcoming Inhumans series, and Mehcad Brooks, who you know from Supergirl, is Jimmy Olsen. So I haven't watched this yet. There you go. Jack Brooks, Monster Slayer. I watched this ages ago. I have no memory of it. Can't remember what it is like. But again, it was dirt cheap. It's got some cool monsters on the back. So how bad could it be, really? Yeah, I watched this years ago, don't remember what it's like, so you may see a review of it on some point. This one I'd never even heard of, but it was like €1, so I thought, oh well, even if it's rubbish, it's not really that much of a big thing. So Dark World, so clearly an Underworld rip-off. There's probably a reason I've not heard of it before, but there you go. But I'm a sucker for marketing, what can I tell you? And you show me a good cover with a sexy babe on it, and damn it, I'll spend €1 for that. So there you go, Dark World. This one I got on eBay, The Amazing Adventures of the Living Corpse. Now, I'd never heard of it, but it was like 99p on eBay, so I thought I'd pick it up. And to my horror, I discovered it was animation. I do not like animation. Like, animation bores me, to be honest. So this one's sealed, so I'm sure this one will be turning up in a giveaway at some point. Next up I got is Dracula 3000. I did see this once when I got it on the, believe it or not, I pre-ordered this on the DVD when it first came out, Region 1 DVD. Haven't got that anymore, but I don't really remember it, but I remember it being okay. Again, pretty cheap on Blu Ray in Amazon Germany. So why the hell not, eh? American Poltergeist 3. Now this one is actually retitled from an American film, which I can't remember what it's called now. And the reason I got this was I've got to know the director of this movie quite well, and in the US they don't have it on a Blu-ray release, so I've got two of these on the German Blu-ray. I'll probably get this signed by the director at some point. God, I can't remember what it's called. Encounter, that's right, it's called Encounter. Yeah, so there you go. Next up, see loads from Germany, you can tell by these kind of like age stickers here. Dead Mind, this is a zombie film that I believe was, oh God, where was it? It's filmed in like Malaysia or somewhere like that. Bali or somewhere like that. And it's a really decent zombie film actually. It's you do have mixed nationalities here, so I believe most of it is English spoken, but it's about these kind of, they go into this mud and there's all these kind of zombified, like almost sort of like terracotta warrior type things down there. It's actually pretty good. I did a review of it ages ago. It's one of my most early reviews, and yeah, again, I saw this on Blu-ray for cheap, so why not? And then Dead Awake. This is a film I reviewed around a month ago or so. Really enjoyed it, so I wanted to get the Blu Ray of it as well. So yeah, this is a decent horror film about sleep paralysis. So if you are a fan of kind of like, you know, jumpy scares, monsters, I actually kind of thought this was a decent movie. I mean, it's not massively original, let's not kid ourselves, but it's a well-made film with some good scares in it. I'll go on to the kind of the, before we get onto the Marvel stuff, we'll just go on to some of the other random DVDs, like Blu-rays I got. Centurion, one of Michael Fassbender's early roles, and yeah, a kind of fun sort of medieval, or not really before medieval, kind of, and this is actually directed by Neil Marshall, I believe, who done a lot of the episodes of Game of Thrones and Descent. I'm almost 100% sure. Yeah, it is Neil Marshall. Yeah, he's done The Descent, he's done Dog Soldiers, and he's done a lot of the Game of Thrones. It's been long since I've seen this, so I kind of wanted to check it out. 22 Jump Street. This is the one I bought just to get some change. I needed to get some change, so I went into CX. I bought this just for £1. This was going to break a £20 note. Although I do like this film, but yeah, there you go. It's in a slipcase for £1. What are you going to do? Here's an interesting story about this one. Now, this is the Nemesis box set. This is a German release, and it comes with 4 movies that are loosely connected after the original. Original stars Oliver Gruner as a kind of it's a Terminator kind of knockoff, and this is the Platinum Cult Collection. Now, I got this specifically because I was told on the review of the original Nemesis film that they have actually used my review as a special feature on this Blu-ray, on the original Blu-ray, but only on specifically this set. So as you can see, it's sealed yet. I haven't really had a chance to have a look at it yet. Now, they never asked my permission. They never even told me it was actually a reviewer, so I don't 100% know if it's actually true, to be honest. So we'll see. But the first movie I kind of liked. I don't think I've seen the fourth one. The second 2 were forgettable, but they kind of go off on a different sort of tangent in regard to the story. But the first movie I kind of liked, to be honest with you, and it's got some pretty decent kind of like action sequences in it. So I will be doing a video about maybe that will include this at some point if I get around to actually watching it. There you go. So that is Nemesis, the collection. 88 film was released, one of my favourite B movies, Eliminators. I love this movie, and they had a slipcase which was limited to the first 1,000 copies. I think it's some still available if you want to get this. If you want to go to the 88 Films website, and it's the only place where they'll do the slip. I have been waiting for this to come out on Blu-ray for so long. I had it on VHS and absolutely adore this film. It's a kind of a science fiction superhero film where we have a group of individuals that are defeating a kind of like a technology-based bad guy. We've got this kind of robotic cyborg called the Mandroid. We've got a ninja. We've got a kind of Indiana Jones type character, scientist, and a little kind of like cute robot as well. Unabashedly love this movie. Fantastic. One of my best B movies ever. Also got this, which I thought was pretty darn cool. Cyborg, an early Van Damme movie, and this is a metal pack with a kind of lenticular kind of sleeve there. Not the most active of lenticulars, we might say, but Cyborg is really one of these films that don't really make a lot of sense, to be honest. And the Cyborg's actually barely in it, but I don't know, I really like this movie. I really like the bad guys, and this was originally, believe it or not, actually started production as a Master of the Universe 2, but was changed after that went south, basically. There you go, picture inside. As I said, it's a metal pack rather than a steel book, so you have the hinged side here. it doesn't really bother me. I know some people stick their nose up at metal packs, but honestly, I don't mind. So we'll talk about Marvel now. This is really the one DVD that I'll show you. I've got a few more DVDs, but I'm not going to go through all of them. But I did want to show this one because this is a special edition Spider-Man. In Australia, they have, there used to be a company called Easy DVD, and they produce a lot of these kind of packs where you had this metal tin, and inside it housed the DVD. And as you can see here, it's pretty embossed, so it's really nice and kind of like fun to play with. So it's an Australian DVD, 2 discs. Obviously the discs is standard, just a standard DVD here. But these Easy TV ones are going to become pretty hard to collect, and people turn their nose up at DVDs. I'm telling you, that's a mistake. Another thing that I also picked up was I think this is a newly released Iron Man metal pack, again from Germany. And again, this is heavily embossed, so you're not going to be able to see it because this one's sealed, but really heavily embossed title there, and the eyes, like, again, it's a metal pack, not a steelbook. But I don't know, I've got so many Iron Man special editions now. I must have this film over 20 times. And I've got another one to show you as well. There you go. So that is the Iron Man metal pack. As I said, here's another one. So this is the original Iron Man steelbook that was exclusive to the retailer MediaMarkt in Germany. Now this one came out, this is one of the earlier steelbooks to ever be released, and there was the Future Shop version, which is a Canadian one, which I picked up a short time ago, and then this one. And these have been pretty expensive. However, I think there's been so many of the kind of like the premium steelbooks that you've seen from kind of like Korea, and you know, the kind of the sleeves and stuff, is that the older ones have actually dropped down in price a little bit. So I was able to pick this up for not too expensive, and it is actually sealed as well. It's got this protective coat, but it's sealed. So I'm pretty happy. It's a fairly boring steelbook image, I won't lie, but there you go. Next up we have Iron Man 3. I actually got this second hand. This one is unsealed, and I got this off eBay. Zavi did a whole bunch of these lenticular Marvel steelbooks, and there were so many of them I couldn't really get them all at once because I just couldn't afford it. So I just got the ones that I kind of wanted, and they've since sold out, but this one was on eBay for quite cheap. I've got one more that I'll say, and there's just one more that I haven't got now, which is the Guardians of the Galaxy. And I didn't like it, it was just a picture. That seemed lazy to me. It was just a photo of the cast, which I thought was a bit crap, if I'm completely honest. So that is the Iron Man 3 with a lenticular magnet. This was the other one, which is Thor: The Dark World. Now, I know there's been a lot of hate with this one because the magnet doesn't match up with the image around it. But nonetheless, you know, again, me being just kind of a bit of a completionist, I kind of thought, well, I've got to try and get it because it's different artwork, and I always try and get it if it's different artwork, although I really haven't kept up to date with the kind of the blue fan stuff. But nonetheless, there it is, the Thor: The Dark World. It's not sealed, but it does still come with the J card, so kind of happy about that. Penultimately, we've got the Fantastic Four 1 and 2 steelbook. This one I actually picked up new from Amazon, and it was really cheap. I was surprised. This is an old steelbook now, and it's one of those ones where I kind of like, it's been on the back burner for so long because these movies aren't great, and I don't really like getting packs of stuff. I'm not a big fan of collections of things, unless it's like a, you know, a box set of I don't know, you know, all the Spider-Man films or something. But even then. So, but I was surprised how cheap it was. So I thought, do you know what? I need it. I've got to pick it up. And then finally, my final one is this Blade 2 steelbook. Now, Zavi actually released a Blade 2 steelbook which had a grey background. This is the Japanese version, which has this red background. Now, I'd actually got a German version of this steelbook some time ago, and it has the grey background, very much like the Zavi one. So I didn't bother with the Zavi one, it's more or less the same. But I've always quite fancied this Japanese one because I think it looks cool, the kind of red colouring. But it's always been very expensive. Now the Japanese Blade 1 looks exactly the same as the Canadian, or more or less the same as the Canadian Steelbook, which I already have. So that's why I didn't bother with the first Blade Japanese one. And again, it's just ridiculously expensive. But this one again, I picked up for relatively inexpensive, and it's got a got a postcard in there. So there you go. So that is the conclusion of the August update for Hit for me. Anything that tickles your fancy, anything that you particularly liked, please let me know. What did you think of my non-Blu-ray merchandise this month? Anyway, thanks for watching and bye for now.